Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ngobile Shabane and this is Nugget for Your Wallet. This episode is part 2 of dealing with debt. If you have not checked out part 1, I really ask that you go check it out because part 2 is a continuation of that, and there is a lot of information that we have shared in part 1. Please make sure that you go watch that one and then come and watch this video. I'm actually gonna try and link part 1. Make sure you watch part 1 because part 2 is a continuation of that. I realized when I was shooting it that this video was going to be too long if I just kept it as one video, and it was very difficult for me to cut out any information because everything that I've shared and I'm going to be sharing is very important, and it's important for me to go into the level of detail in which I am going into. So please make sure that you watch both videos, part 1 and part 2, in order for you to be equipped and to have enough information as to how to deal with debt. So it's very important to identify that you're in debt, identify the reason, and also be willing to make sacrifices in order for you to get out of debt. Once you have taken those actions, the next step is for you to stop taking more debt. You need to basically close the tap in order for you to deal with the water that is already on the floor. After you have done those first two steps, then we can then look at the strategy that will best suit you. You then need to choose a strategy that you're going to use in order for you to basically get rid of the debt that you have. There are common actions that you need to take in all independent of what strategy that you take. Firstly, you need to know the amount of debt that you have. You need to list out all the debts that you're saying. So you need to have the list of all the credit providers that you are owing, the amount that you are still owing for each one of them, and then the last column, you need to put the interest rate that is being charged for each and every one of those debts. Once you have done that, you will then have a clear picture of what you are dealing with. Once you have listed all your debts, you have now that extra 500 Rand, then you can choose a strategy. The first strategy that you can use, if it best suits you, is what we call a snowball method. Make sure you watch part 1 because part 2 is a continuation of that. Let's continue with our subject, dealing with debt. The next strategy that is available for you to choose from is what we call debt avalanche. So debt avalanche basically is a strategy where you are paying the debt with the highest interest rate first. The whole idea there is that the debt with the highest interest is the most expensive, and you would want to get rid of that one first. So that how basically it is different from the snowball method. Snowball method says pay the debt with the least amount owing, but the debt avalanche method says pay the debt with the highest interest because that's the most expensive. That might mean that although your store account is 3,000 and your credit card is 10,000, but if the interest rate that you charge on a credit card is 18% and the interest rate that you get charged on a store account is 15%, the debt avalanche method says focus on the credit card first, and then after that then focus on your store accounts. So the debt avalanche method will then require you to list your debt in the order of the interest rate that you're getting charged, with the debt with the highest interest rate at the top, the next one, and then you have at the bottom the debt with the least interest rate. Then once you have listed them, then again that 500 Rand, that extra 500 Rand that we spoke about, you still need it even in this method. So you then pay, if the minimum payment in my example, the minimum the debt with the highest interest rates is your credit card, then you're gonna pay the minimum payment of 500 Rand plus that extra 500 rand you paid. Then once you have fully paid for your credit card, which has the highest interest rate, then you use that money to pay for your next debt with the next highest interest rate. You follow this method until you fully pay off your debt. Again, in this case, once you have fully paid out the first debt with the highest interest rate, you then don't go and start using that money for something else. It needs to stay in here, and you need to use it to pay off your debt. So that's the next strategy or method that you can choose. The next method that you can use to pay off your debt, again, that 500 rand that I spoke about, remember, we still need it independent of the method or strategy that you need it. The next one is what we call debt consolidation. Debt consolidation, basically, it is taking one loan in order to basically pay off all your other loans. So you might have like 10 debts, then you take out one loan in order to basically pay off for all the other loans. And once you have done that, you then know that you are dealing with one credit provider, you're dealing with one loan. This is beneficial in a way that all the debts that you have, there is a service fee that you pay for each one of them. And if you close all of them, you know that you now to pay one service fee to one credit provider, and you're just dealing with one credit provider. You don't have to then be in a position of choosing, I'm going to service this month. You know that you're just dealing with one person or with one credit provider. What's very important here is that you need to make sure that you then don't get charged exorbitant amount of interest on this consolidated loan, because if that is being done, then it might be more expensive for you to then take take a consolidated loan. But again, once you have taken that consolidated loan, the minimum payments that you were paying for all your debt, still put it there and then use the extra 500 rand. In that way, it will assist you to pay off that loan. But what is maybe a con with this is because is that you now have one big loan. So it might take you longer because you're now servicing one big loan. But it is, if it's something that you really believe that it might be helpful to you, so that you do not do basically choosing which one you're paying, which one you're not paying, maybe this method might assist you. And especially if you feel that you're unable to service all of your debt, this might be helpful if, for example, the minimum payment on the consolidated is less than the minimum payment that you were paying on all your other debt. But this is a method that you can adopt. But I really not advise this. Try the other first two that I've spoken about. And if you really think that I can't use the snowball method, I really think I can't use the debt, the one with paying the highest interest first, then you can consider debt consolidation. And then the last method, which I'll speak about briefly because I'm going to have a separate video on it, is going on a debt review or debt cancellation. Debt review, basically, it is now that step of involving a third party to assist you to get out of debt. It's not everyone who qualifies for debt review or debt cancellation, debt cancelling. It is only people who meet a specific criteria that will include that you need to be employed, you need to be over indebted in order for you to be part of this process. There are a lot of pros and there are cons of going into a debt review, but let this be your last resort. My suggestion is that this be your last resort, and you need to ensure that you have full understanding of the debt review process, because it has a lot of implication and it has a lot of limitations, but maybe your situation needs those limitations. But I will definitely put up a video where I'll be discussing in detail as to what is a debt review. I'll be discussing the pros and the cons and who actually qualifies for a debt review. So that is another method that you can use to get out of debt. So those are the 4 methods that or strategies that you can choose from in order for you to pay off your debt. Let's quickly recap on the strategies that we have discussed that you can adopt in order for you to get out of debt. The first method or strategy that we discussed is the snowball method. This method, basically you are paying off the debt with the smallest balance owing first, and then you basically continue in that order, paying the next smallest until you finish your debt. We spoke about debt Avalanche. Debt Avalanche, you're paying your debt with the highest interest rate first, and then you follow the paying off the debt with the next highest interest rate, and then you continue in that order. The third method or strategy that we spoke about is debt consolidation, which basically means that you are consolidating all your debt, taking one loan to pay off all your other debts in order to service this one loan. In there, what you need to be careful about is that the interest rate that you get charged on your consolidated loan, it needs not to be higher than the other than all the other interest that you were getting charged. And then the fourth method that we spoke about briefly is debt review. Specific people would qualify for debt review, but that we're going to expand on our next video. So you need to be honest and to determine which of these four strategies would assist you to pay off your debt as quickly as possible, and which one can you really afford. Please make sure that you choose not the easiest one, not the one that is best convenient for you, but the one that will assist you to get out of debt as quickly as possible. And as quickly as possible would differ on person to person. From one person, getting out of debt might take 2 years, but you must be willing to put your head down and be willing to make that sacrifice, because you rather sacrifice now in order for you to live a debt-free life than for you to continue in this cycle of just taking more debt and more debt in order for you to just keep alive. You need to be determined and you need to be committed. So choose a strategy that best suits you. This then leads me to the next step that you need to take. The next step that you need to take is that you need to be committed. You need to be committed to the cause. You need to make sure that you put in place all measures that will assist you to succeed in getting out of debt. And some of the measures that you can put in place to assist you to get out of debt is you need to do your budget. Budget is very important because it will assist you to then be able to view your financial abilities and be able to allocate your financial resources accordingly. Once you have chosen a strategy, your budget will assist you to stick to your strategy. So you need to do your budget. Also, your budget will also motivate you because depending on the method that you have seen, you will see that, oh, okay, 4 months, 5 months later, there is a debt that is now out of your budget. Then you're focusing on your next debt. So you need to do your budget. Budget is very, very important. Without a budget, then it will be very hard and very difficult for you to get out of debt. So do your budget. The next thing that you need to do in order for you to set up yourself for success, in order to get out of debt, you need to learn to say no. You need to learn to say no and to stop taking more debt. Because the more you take more debt, is the more basically you are getting stuck and getting trapped into debt. You need to say no and you need to get out of debt. You need to be able to make sacrifices. If it means that you need to change your lifestyle, be willing to take that sacrifice, because you know that at the end, you're basically gonna reap the reward of living a financially free life. So you need to do that. And you need to learn to buy what you can afford, not what you can afford according to credit. You need to be able to learn to buy. If you can afford this, pay in cash, then you can buy it. If you can't then afford it, then you need to learn to say, you know what, I can't afford it now. I'm not going to invest on it because I have a mission, and my mission is to get out of debt. So you need to basically do that. And the things that I've just mentioned, you don't need extra money. But there are other things that obviously measures that you need to put in place in order for you to ensure that you do not go back to debt. Things like taking out an insurance, making sure that you have sufficient insurance cover would assist you so that in times of unforeseen circumstances, you have that financial cushion. Also, it's very important for you to create an emergency fund. An emergency fund will assist you again to be able to have that financial cushion if, for example, you need to assist your family, or if, for example, there is an investment opportunity, a business opportunity that you want to tap into. Instead of taking out a loan to finance a business opportunity, rather take out your emergency fund if you really believe that this is an opportunity that you cannot miss. So those are some of the measures that you can put in place to ensure that you basically do not continue in this vicious cycle of being in debt. So I really challenge you that sit down, be honest with yourself. Debt, the life of debt is a life of slavery. It is a life that we all need to strive to basically get out of. Do all that is in your power to get out of debt and avoid debt by all means. I challenge you, be honest with yourself. Take your income versus your debt repayments. See if you are over indebted. And if you are over indebted, make a decision to get out of debt. Even if you have one debt, I really believe that it's not worth having debt. I know we need there are situations that makes us to need to take out debt because maybe you don't have money, maybe you have you need to finance your vehicle. But again, there you need to strive to ensure that you service all your debts, service them timelessly, and if possible, pay more than the minimum payment in order for you to ensure that you are free. And once you have paid out that debt, you don't need to go and take out another debt. I know some other people, once they fully paid out their car, they then want to upgrade. Once their phone contract comes to an end, they're going for an upgrade. Those upgrades, they're gonna keep you in debt. You don't need to upgrade. Once you are fully paid out for a particular debt, you don't need to go and take another debt, because in that way you'll forever be in this vicious cycle of being in debt. And once you basically have eliminated debt, or you have decreased the amount of debt that you have, it's really going to free up some of your disposable income in order for you to then tap into things like savings, investments. And once you do that, you are working your way towards financial freedom, and you are going to build your wealth. I really believe that this is something that you can all achieve. If you are feeling overwhelmed, I'm here to encourage you that don't feel overwhelmed. Be committed to the cause, have a mission, have a goal, and make a promise to yourself that you are going to get out of debt and do all that is necessary and all that is in your power in order for you to get out of debt. Read up on as much as you can. I really hope that this video has assisted you, and if you really feel that you are in a situation that you don't know what to do, engage with me in the comment section, and I'll try to advise you and to suggest as much as I can, because I really would love for all of us to be debt free and to be in a position where we are able to enjoy the financial resources that we have. This brings us to the end of our video. I really hope that there is something that you have learned. Engage with me in the comment section. What are some of the strategies that you have adopted? Tell me if this content has been helpful to you. And also, I really ask that if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do that by clicking the red subscribe button below. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. I also ask that you share this video with other people. This assists for my channel to grow, and if my channel grows, it means that this information and a lot of people can access this information. So I really ask that you share this video, leave a big thumbs up if you like this comment, and also engage with me in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.